Hi there, I'm HilaHila, your bartender for the evening. Tonight, I have some great drinks for you. Trends, Game of Thrones, and sporty drinks. Welcome to Barely a Bar. Tonight I have a special guest who I'll have taken the Game of Thrones challenge and help also deliver you a sporty drink. That's Dashing Foxy. So, mild spoiler alert, if you aren't caught up with Game of Thrones, you may want to tune out for this episode. I won't be discussing all of what happens on the show, but I will be doing a variant of something that happens on the show. So, at your own risk. But my first drink for you, of course, is the trending topics of the week. Game of Thrones is always a big topic, it seems, as each season gets towards the middle. And this time is the latest season everyone was talking about the most recently on social media. The most recent episode, the Battle of Winterfell, happened on Sunday. And man, it was dark. So dark. It reminded me of some of the new movie trailers that are coming out. Child's Play! Oh, I got something caught in my throat there. Because some people couldn't see anything in the trailer. That cinematographer for Game of Thrones, what did they have to say to it? It's not too dark, it's your TV that's too dark. No, seriously, that basically was his reply. Wow. He goes on to say that people don't know how to properly view their televisions. Right. I'm going to stark him right out of here. That's enough spoilers for me. Anything more and I'll have to answer the ghost. Avengers End Game opened with the biggest opening in Hollywood history, hitting over $1 billion globally. It marks the conclusion of what Marvel and Disney have been building up for 22 films. We all know who the best Avenger was, of course, so it was Rocket. Rocket was amazing. Trump has been in the news again. Apparently, he got really upset when Twitter removed a bunch of spam bots that were following him. He's also upset that the former president, Barack Obama, has more Twitter followers than he does. So he flew in Jack of Twitter to discuss these important matters, while also arguing that Congress should stop worrying about his administration's corruption and start taking their job seriously. Then he got ready for some golf. He also went out of his way to say how he's a very young person. His quote is, "I'm so young, I can't believe it. I'm the youngest person. I am a young, vibrant man." Wow. I don't think he realizes that we know how old he is. He's 72, by the way, for those of you at home asking yourselves. Yes, that's above the age of retirement. Trump also got a chance to make a good impression with the Baylor University Lady Bears. So he gave them all some fast food. And yeah, this is real life. And speaking of the former President Obama, he was recently, again, the victim of deepfake video. So what's deepfake? Usually it's used for facial mapping and computer-generated effects for big-budget movies and video games. It is the same technology that is used to give CGI characters the same expressions as their actors. The programs have evolved and similar versions of it are now available to everyone, and they are using it to create fake videos. The big issue is that they are getting so sophisticated, it's hard to tell if you are looking at a real video or not. Senators in California, Texas, and Massachusetts are now introducing bills to regulate the use of these videos. And some platforms, including YouTube, have started enforcing restrictions on them. I hope furries start using them on fursuits, because I would love that. My mouse will be moving and everything. Craziness. Though speaking of creeping CGI, the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer has made fans want more of the Detective Pikachu movie and the trailer. I can't blame them. When I first saw it, I convinced myself it would look better when the movie was complete. No, they really changed nothing. It looks terrible. How could they make a Pokemon look so cute and Sonic the Hedgehog look so horrifying? Well, there is some good news because the backlash the studio has received this week and all the memes, they are now announced that they're working hard and fast to rework the look of the final character model, so I have high hopes for the movie. In tragic news, Wolfsbane from Marvel's X titles has recently been killed off. It seems that Marvel's writers have just been having a field day with some fan favorites the past decade, even killing Wolverine for quite a while, and then trying to please their readers with the backlash they faced. They tried bringing him back from an alternate timeline and finally bringing him back for real. The mutants from Marvel live a life that is viewed as a metaphor for a lot of minorities and second-class citizens in the real world. And a character like Wolfsbane was often seen as a metaphor for the genderqueer community, dealing with transformation and struggling with being who she wants to be versus what society may fear she is. In the furry community, she may have been the first mainstream werewolf a lot of furries even knew. Her loss will certainly be felt. She had a role in the upcoming film New Mutants, and she was one of the founding members of New Mutants. Hopefully in the MCU, she may find a new life. Peter Mayhew is also being mourned this week. He's famous for originating the role of Chewbacca in the Star Wars film. I can't do that. He was 74 years old, though, known as a gentle giant offset as well. He will be truly missed. The winner of last week's challenge is Buzzbear. Congratulations, Buzz, you've won. The phrase to win the next giveaway will be, Wolfsbane was the best mutant. Thank you so much for my audience member over there, Fiona. So, I hear over the weekend, a Stark saved the world. Alright, and there were some pretty cool things about it. And I'm going to offer Dashing here a Stark. You want to get a Stark?
What the heck's a Stark?
Here's a Stark.
Is it?
Oh no, I failed.
Well, round one goes to the bottle.
Alright, here again, trying again. A Stark. Here's a Stark.
So wait, what?
Here you go.
That's it.
That's it.
So it's this.
It's hard. Yeah.
It's harder in a fursuit because you're not really you don't get the depth perception.
Yeah, the vision.
Ah, got it.
Nice. Although when you do it, you have to go up. You catch it. And
So it's just up and then woo.
Yes.
Like you're squirting somebody.
Exactly.
He just got squirted. Okay,
Exactly.
So
Your drink.
Oh! You hit me in the nose. Boy, I thought this was supposed to be one of those friendly shows, not one of the violent. Gee.
No, it's the Battle of Winterfell.
Oh! I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't either.
I don't know. I'm so confused.
I don't know what we're talking about.
You know, that's one thing about Game of Thrones. Okay? You could talk about anything with it, like my whole entire, Fox team, hockey team, whatever you want to call it. They talk about Game of Thrones to me. I look like I'm a weirdo, and I always go, nerd, because, they're nerds. I'm not gonna... No offense to people watching out there.
I love nerds.
Nerds are cool. If you're a nerd, please support this channel. We will definitely support you if you support us.
When I was called nerd in school, my third grade teacher would always go, you know what nerds are called in the future, right? Boss.
Oh.
I don't know how true that is.
I don't know how true that is, too. We have to have statistics for that.
But there's some self-esteem for you guys.
To tell you the truth, Games of Thrones for me is kind of like one of those things that I never really sunk my teeth into.
I can sink my teeth into Game of Thrones because I love that fantasy or anything sci-fi, horror. I love all that. However, when it comes to sports, I'm not so great at it.
No,
so that's why I now have a senior sport correspondent. It's Dashing.
Yeah, I'm going to be a senior sport correspondent.
Yes, thank you for being my senior sport correspondent.
I know that there's furries out there, and now maybe I'm wrong, that do enjoy sports. And I said, what the heck? Why not enlighten them in some good old-fashioned sports? Today's going to be about hockey. Welcome to Sports for You, where we are going to be talking about the Stanley Cup playoffs. You know, I'm getting sick and tired of hearing about the basketball playoffs. I live in a freaking Phillies nation, or 76ers, or whatever you want to call it. I'm getting sick and tired of hearing that. So you know what? Today we are going to talk about hockey. So I'm just going to breeze over the very first round that we had, and then I'm going to go into the segment of the second round that we've had. So let's start out with the most obvious elephant in the room, the team that was supposed to be the best team in the world, losing to the Columbus Blue Jackets. This team had it all. If you know what I'm talking about, and you know you're a hockey fan, this team had it all. This team had all the wins in the regular season, 62, which tied the regular season wins. It had a Vezina Trophy winner, it had a Hart winner, President's Cup, and then they end up choking or end up just losing it all to Columbus Blue Jackets. Can anybody see this coming? No, your brackets are completely screwed right now. So that's just the obvious elephant in the room, and we're going to continue on because I could be on that for hours. Okay, so then we also had Toronto versus Boston. That basically the rematch of every year. Every year that we go into this, we take a look at Toronto and we take a look at Boston, and we're like, boy, they look even on paper. And then Toronto can't get the job done. Anderson played a heck of a game, and he deserves all of the credit for them getting their 3 wins. Everybody else, you played like crap. Sorry, but you really didn't play that well. You didn't show up. You had a couple good moments with Austin Matthews and a couple other players, but you really didn't have the greatness that they were promising for Toronto. Sorry, Toronto, you haven't won a cup since 1960s. So might as well forget about that. You're not winning it for a little while until you do something about that. Then we had Carolina versus Washington. Now, the joke for here, you can go, oh, well, Washington choked. They do this all the time. Well, not necessarily, because last year they won a Stanley Cup, so you can't really say that anymore. And to tell you the truth, the series was great. It was just Washington got outbeat. If you took a look at the Carolina's goaltending, from their defense to everything around it, actually Jordan Stahl is not that great of a player, but he is playing out of his mind right now. He has scored a total of 3 goals in the last couple of games. So he's a player to really look for. And your goalie has been phenomenal. A little bit scared about that backup goalie that you're coming your way, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So then we also have the Pittsburgh versus New York. I saw New York winning this like from a mile away. Everybody's like, oh, I can't believe they lost. It's Pittsburgh. They've had 2 Stanley Cups. No. I'm going to tell you right now. The way that they were playing and the way that they looked terrible. So might as well just get over that fact. They looked awful. Sidney Crosby, Malcolm showed up, but the rest of their team was slow, looked sad. They looked like they were defeated, and they weren't going to beat anybody any given day. So, New York Islanders, you got your good team. Let's see if we can do something here. So, then you have another basically a choke story here when Calgary Flames. But Calgary Flames, they can never get past the first round. It's like, oh, we got a great team. We got great goaltending. Mike Smith is playing the best hockey I've ever seen. Nope, that didn't happen. Mike Smith, you are the reason why they were in it. They had a couple key players, but the rest of it was like, meh. They looked like they were playing against a bunch of... They were boys while the other people were men, and they're like, you know what, we're Colorado. We're actually going to win something. And Colorado has the first line. Their first line is fantastic. I mean, I can't even think of, like, anybody on their second and third line. But, I mean, their first line is out of this world, and I call him V, but it's Vandersong. So we're all good. Now, for the Sharks and the Vegas Knights. This one, Vegas, you have to look back and you have to go, what the heck did we do? Now, you can blame it on that penalty at the end with the 5-minute minor. Now, my opinion, I don't think it should have been a 5-minute minor. It should have been maybe 4 minutes, I'd probably say. But still, even then, you can't just go, oh, well, the one goal in Game 7, we were up by 3. You were up by 3, okay? There's no excuse for the crap that you did. No, that's terrible. Just get that out of your mind. Don't even come to me and complain about that. No, because you were up by 3, you choked, you lost, and to tell you the truth, this is the very first time you ever lost. So I'm gonna just let it slide. You didn't really choke. It was just the Sharks just had a lot of momentum. Okay, but still, don't blame it on that last penalty. Okay, and then we also have the Blues and the Jets. Where can I start with the Blues and the Jets? Jets, this was your final year to do something. Your cap space has been hit. It has been soaring. It's been slapped in the face. It's going to be corrupting next year. It's gone. You might as well forget about Little. You might as well forget about all the talent they had on your team. It's gone. Okay? They're going to go sign to bigger, better contracts. Somewhere that they want to play, and they're going to go somewhere. And, you know, I looked at the Jets, and I really thought they were a cup contender this year. They looked great. They had a lot of good pieces. But you just couldn't get it on a roll. You got beat by a team who had a lot more momentum. The Blues came in. They've got a heck of a goalie. They've got a heck of a defense. So, yeah. That's what happened. And for the last one was the Predators versus the Stars. I didn't see the Predators losing so, what's the word? I wouldn't say easily, but they just, you know, I feel like this playoff could be summed up in a couple of words. We let them slip by. Because every time that you thought they were going to win the series, like whenever Pecorino always plays good, but when it comes to the playoffs, he's just not as good as the regular season. And that's something that you have to change. And, you know, these teams, like, if you take a look at them, right, you have the Lightning. They should have went on. But they thought it was going to be easy. The regular season was easy, so why not think it's going to be easy? All these teams, I think, except for Washington Capitals, which the Washington Capitals just got outplayed, I'm sorry. They were played a heck of a game. But all these teams that I'm looking at, it looks like they didn't show up. They were like, it's the playoffs, oh no! And then their alarm clock went off, and there goes the boat. So, I'm going to say most of these teams just didn't catch the boat, and that's only my opinion. So, sports, a lot of opinions. So let's take a look at the players that are playing right now. Okay, so we have the Columbus Blue Jackets versus Boston. Okay, now number one, in my opinion, I don't want Boston to win it because I'm sick and tired of Boston. Okay, it's Boston this, Boston that. Boston won the Super Bowl, World Series. So, I'm sorry, can't go for Boston. But I do have to say, Tuukka Rask has been playing his heart out. He's been playing like a really good goaltender. I don't think he's the reason why that they're losing. Right now, Brovkovsky, or Bob as they like to call him, their goaltender, is playing out of their mind. Now, you're probably wondering, Dashing, why are you always talking about these goalies? Well, if you take a look at goalies, they are one of the most important positions in the league, okay? So, anytime that I look at it, who's the goalie? It's like whenever it was Marc-Andre Fleury was on that run last year, who's their goalie? You know, so, and I'm also a goalie, so a little biased there. But you know, Boston does look like they have Chara on the blue line. They have a bunch of different key players for them. Serbin, I can't pronounce. Some of these names I cannot pronounce. But I've been watching a lot of that series. But right now, Columbus wins it by 2, is winning by 2. Well, actually winning by 1, it's 2-1. So, now you also have to realize that since it is 2-1, we're going into the home I think if Boston's going to win the next game, in my opinion, I'm just going to throw it out there. I really want Columbus to win. I have a funny feeling they are. They just look like the team that's like desperate right now. You know, the very first game was horrendous, but I think that was only a little bit of rust. So I'm going to go with Columbus in this series. Now, probably I'm going to be wrong, and everybody in the comments is probably going to be like, whatever. So I just think that they have a lot more weapons. They've got a better goaltender right now, and they've got a whole bunch of potential there with Atkins, Anderson, Johnson, and stuff like that. I think that's, yeah. So I think that they're going to win and move on, but that's only my opinion. So for the Carolina, it's up by 3, and then it's Carolina and the Islanders. I think Carolina is just going to win this. Stupid. But I don't think New York Islanders are going to get back into this. So Carolina, you have all of it going for you and stuff. And if they do, if New York Islanders do, which I couldn't really see because it's down 3-0. That's like a really big gap, unless if they're going to pull a Kings or something, and Carolina's just going to fumble on it stuff. So I would probably say Carolina, you probably won this series. Go on. Justin Williams, what a great player. Their goalie's playing fantastic. Hopefully their backup goaltender can do it. I think his name's McGraw. It starts with an MC, I know that. But their backup goaltender better play really well next game, because if he doesn't play well, you're probably going to lose the next game. I don't think... I know he played well today because I watched a little bit of the game. But I think personally, I think he's going to be good enough to do it and stuff. And, you know, a couple years ago, Ben Bishop had the same problem. He actually plays for one of these teams. But he got injured, and then basically it was game over for the Lightning. But with this backup goaltender, and what I've seen so far, he gets 2 thumbs up or 2 paws, whichever one you want. Two more series going on, and then I'll turn it back to Mr. Personality over there, the Bear. So we have Colorado and the Sharks. Now, so far the Sharks are up in the series 2-1, and they look like a team on a mission. Okay, now previous Shark teams didn't look like this, but when they came back from Vegas, it looked like they were going to be a force to be reckoned with, and I think they're still going to be a force to be reckoned with. So I would definitely pick Sharks over the Colorado. Not only is Johnson playing pretty good goaltending, now you could make a case for the Colorado goaltender. You have Erik Karlsson. Burns has been playing really great offense, he's more of a defensive defenseman. So kind of shocked to see Burns really stepping up and being like, hey, I'm going to be the new Erik Karlsson. But my personal opinion, I'm seeing Sharks for that series. And for the last series, the Blues and the Stars, goaltending. That's going to be basically it. Goaltending's going to win or lose you the series. But last game, it was weird. It looked like whenever the Blues would score, then the Dallas would score. And then the Blues would score, and then Dallas would score. Yeah, that's right. And then it just looked like the Blues had a control of that game. And I think if they have control of that game and just keep riding the wave, then we're going to have problems for people who really are Stars fans, because I just feel like the Blues are going to win that. I don't necessarily care who wins the series, but I just feel like the Blues are going to win it. Now, that's only my opinion. Again, you can have opposite opinions of me. And I'm not going to give a prediction on a Stanley Cup or anything. Hopefully we do this again, and then I can give it predictions of the Stanley Cup. But you know what the heck, I'll throw out two teams here. I think Columbus, it's going to be Columbus, and it's going to be the Sharks. And they're going to do it. You know what, I would say screw it, I'll have a prediction. And that's basically it. That was sports. Very first sports thing. Hopefully you like it. Leave it down in the comments. Back to you, Bear. Okay.
Thank you, Dashing. I'll see you guys in the news.
Hi, I'm Dashing Foxy. Now you're probably wondering, who is this guy? Well, I have my own YouTube channel if you want to figure out who I am. I usually do topics on furry different things. I usually just stick with furry things. I do call-ins. I have my own live stream, so you can watch me live and see me screw up there. Woo! So, if you are interested in the Talking with Dashing Foxy show, which I have, or Dashing Talks as I'm trying to create it now, you can probably see it in the description. So please go to my channel and watch me do live streams.